Hello, hello. Good evening, guys. Good evening, guys. Good evening. Thank you for joining. My name is AyoT. This is English Rocket of Nigeria and football, and we are live to talk about the friendly match between Saudi Arabia and Nigeria. I mean, if you're sleeping under a rock, then I should inform you that the Super Eagles played a 2-2 draw against the Green Falcons of Saudi Arabia today in Portimao in Portugal. Saudi Arabia took the lead from a direct free kick. We equalized through an own goal that was forced by Victor Boniface. Then Iheanacho put the Super Eagles in front with a fine strike from the edge of the 18-yard box. And then Saudi Arabia equalized on the stroke of full time in the 99th minute, 90 plus 9, with a direct free kick. I'll just run through my thoughts on each player and the performance very quickly, and then I'll bring you guys on to share your thoughts as well. I mean, we have to start in goal. Francis Uzoho was the goalkeeper for the occasion. It was one of the worst performances that he could have put out, in all honesty. I was texting some people during the game, OJB included, and I was like, Francis Uzoho is never beating his allegations because it was two poor goals to concede. It was two very avoidable goals to concede. In my opinion, he was not the reason why we didn't win that game, or he was not the sole reason why we didn't win that game. But the two goals that he conceded, you believe that any good goalkeeper would have saved it. The first goal was a very just blatant error. It was an indirect free kick, quote unquote, that the guy took towards goal. And Uzoho just punched it into his own net. He didn't have his bearings right. He didn't know where he was on the field or within a 6-yard box. It was just a very big mistake for him to have made. And that's how we considered the first goal. Prime football IoT, please, you should give me gloves. The first goal was just a very big, blatant error. Like an error that you shouldn't be making at this kind of level. And then the second goal that we considered, a few people that I think I was watching the video over and over again, and I'm like, I want to blame Uzoho for not saving it, but at the same time, the ball took a deflection. The only thing that I would say is his positioning was a bit weird. Typically, what we see in football is that the goalkeeper will set up his wall or her wall at some point, and then he stand opposite where they set up the wall. But Uzoho, for this free kick, the second free kick that was scored, he was just right in the middle. It was right in the middle of the goal, which is not like wrong, but it's just a bit different from what we see. And then the ball also deflected off Calvin Bassey. And for me, I look at it that if I really want to shout at somebody as a coach, if I were going to shout at somebody for that second goal, I will shout at Calvin Bassey. Because I watched it over and over again. A free kick comes, the ball is coming towards you. Why are you ducking? Why are you ducking? Because the only reason that ball deflected in is Calvin Bassey tried to duck, and then the ball hit his back. Calvin Bassey did not want to face that shot. And I think that if we're going to insult Zoe, we also have to assign some blame to Calvin Bassey. He was trying to duck, and yeah, I mean, he's a defender. He had a fine game throughout that match. He made one fantastic block earlier in the game. And then from that free kick, for whatever reason, he tried to duck. And I want to just give benefit of the doubt. I'm not a goalkeeper, but I want to imagine that throws the goalkeeper off. Of course, a deflection is never a good thing. He sees the ball late because the ball is initially coming towards a player, and then all of a sudden the player is not hitting it. So I'm assigning some blame for that second goal to Calvin Bassey, as much as I would say Uzoho also could have done better there. Again, you are a defender. It's a free kick. If the ball comes towards you, block it. I think maybe Calvin Bassey did not want the ball to hit his face or whatever the case may be. But I think that he gets as much blame as anybody should be giving Uzoho for that second goal. Bruno Yemaechi at left back was quite good on the night. Chose his runs properly, made 3 tackles, 2 interceptions, created 1 chance. He was combining well with both Calvin Bassey and with Lookman, and also even with Boniface, because Boniface was dropping deep quite a lot, during his time on the field. I was quite impressed with Bruno. Calvin Bassey in defense, like I said, other than the free kick at the end, and I think he should have stayed strong for, and he shouldn't have ducked to prevent the deflection. Calvin Bassey was quite good throughout the match, I must say. 3 tackles, 2 interceptions, 2 clearances, 1 fantastic block, 1 chance created from defense, won 5 of his drills. Omejesu, please hold on, I'll bring you on. I was quite impressed with Calvin Bassey. I think he did a good job. In my opinion, one of his better matches for the Super Eagles since he's joined the team. He's had a few shaky games. I was curious to see how he was going to pair with Semi Ajayi in that defense, and I think he was the better of the 2 centre backs on the day. So kudos to Calvin Bassey for the performance. Semi Ajayi didn't really do much throughout his time on the field. In the entire game, he only had 1 clearance. That was his contribution. So not too much to talk about. Completed most of his passes though, and he won 2 aerial duels. I mean, Semi Ajayi is a tall player, so if anybody is going to win aerial duels, it better be him. I've always said that I think currently our best partnership is Omeru and Semi Ajayi. Some people don't like Omeru. People now are criticizing Semi Ajayi. It'll be interesting to see what partnership that Jose Peseiro settles on, leading up to World Cup qualifiers and, of course, the AFCON in January. Tyrone Ebuehi played 65 minutes today. Didn't really do much from a defensive point of view. Going forward, he was a little bit shaky sometimes, not so accurate with his passes. Still created 1 chance while he was on the field. I think in the beginning of the game, in the first half, he looked a bit shaky. I don't know if it's because he has not been playing for Nigeria for some time. He looked a bit shaky. But I still think Tyrone Ebuehi is a good option for us to have a right back. Maybe Bazosayi Samuel is our first choice right back right now, but Ebuehi is, I think, a decent enough backup. I don't think he was poor. I just don't think he was good. Going forward to the midfield, Wilfred Ndidi, captain of the night, Ndidi, did what I think he did what I was expecting him to do. He won only 4 of his duels, lost 4. So not as solid a midfielder as he usually is. Made 1 tackle, but I think what I was impressed with was his interceptions today. Especially in the first half, he was covering quite a lot of ground in that midfield and winning balls back for us, curbing the Saudi attacks quite easily. If you didn't watch the game, we were in control in that first half. We were very in control. They didn't have too much going for them. We had more of the possession, or most of the possession, in that first half. And I think that's where we should have definitely taken the game to them, and that's where we should have won, in all honesty. In his midfield partner was Alex Iwobi. Alex Iwobi played 78 minutes, didn't create any chance. He had 1 shot that was blocked, but he won 5 of his duels. He made 2 tackles, made 3 interceptions. It was more so just like a workhorse kind of performance, not really offering the creativity that we are longing for. It will be interesting to see how a Dele Bashiru does in that position, maybe against Mozambique on Monday. But Iwobi, I think at the end of the day, you have to say he had a decent to good performance. You can't really knock him. You can't really knock him in this game. So yeah, Alex Iwobi, I think good game for him. I just wish that he was able to create more chances for us. Being that link between the midfield and the attack, that creative spark that we're always looking for. On the left-hand side of midfield/attack, we had Ademola Lookman, probably had his worst game for the Super Eagles so far today. Lookman was just not at it. Played 66 minutes, albeit the fact that he didn't create any chance while he was playing. He had chances of his own, and unfortunately he couldn't take them, or he took them quite poorly, in all honesty, with all due respect to him. Had a good chance, a one-on-one against the goalkeeper, played it wide. Yes, I know there was pressure on him. There was a player that was breathing down his neck, but at the same time, you want to believe that somebody that's playing at that kind of high level in the Serie A, for Atalanta, for the Super Eagles, would be able to compose himself enough to take that chance and to put it in the back of the net. It was quite a bad miss. Probably, other than the goalkeeper, probably the worst player today. Ademola Lookman, he hasn't lit it up for us as much as people would have expected him to. And we saw the impact of Moses Simon when he came on. Nigerian fans, a lot of people insult Moses Simon. They say that, oh, what's he doing in the team? Why is he always there? But Moses Simon changed the game for us today when he came off the bench. He came off, he was dribbling his players, he was creating opportunities, he was creating space for Bruno Yemaechi as well. And, he was involved in the creation of the in the creation here of the 2 goals that we scored. So Moses Simon of the bench had quite the impact. Ademola Lookman, in his 66 minutes of action, nothing to write home about. I'm sure he knows that he would surely have better days. It cannot get much worse than it was today. And on the right hand side, we had Samuel Chukwueze. I think just like I said about Lookman, Chukwueze today was also a little bit unserious. I like Chukwueze as a player. I believe so much in his talent. But games like today, will make you say, you know what? Now I see why he's on the bench for AC Milan. Because so many moments, his decision making was just questionable. That I'm like, why, Samuel? Why are you doing this? Why don't you have your head up? Why are you not picking a pass? Why are you trying to dribble too much? There were just different moments that I'm like, Samuel, what are you doing? And I think that is the difference between him and some of the top wingers, some of the very, the players that play ahead of him at club level. I really hope that he can improve. I mean, we've seen Chukwueze have good games for Nigeria, but for like the past, I don't know how many matches, with the exception of maybe the game against Sao Tome and Principe, who we obviously were supposed to thrash, Chukwueze has not quite been on it. His decision making at times is not the best, and I just think that, the way Kelechi Iheanacho is playing right now, for both club and country, Kelechi Iheanacho might just bench Chukwueze at this point. Because Iheanacho is coming on, is making an impact. He's creating chances. He whipped in some quality crosses. There was the one that he whipped in that Sadikuma, I don't know if he lago. He didn't lago because he didn't kick the ball. But Sadikuma ran past the ball. He didn't really time his run too well. Iheanacho is having an impact. And I think at the moment, he needs to get into the squad ahead of Chukwueze. Chukwueze, not his best performance for me today. I think he still created 2 chances, but he could have done a lot more. Like I said, I think in that first half, if our attackers were serious, Lookman, Chukwueze, if they were serious, we could have easily been 2-3 goals up on Saudi Arabia in that first half, and we wouldn't have been having to rely on goalkeeper error, or talk about all those kind of things. It would have been, a passing discussion rather than the main discussion, the errors that Uzoho made. But yeah, and then going to the attack, Victor Boniface played alongside Victor Osimhen, in the attack. I think Boniface in that first half, he seemed to be playing kind of like a free roam kind of role. He was everywhere. He was dropping deep. He was linking up with midfielders, linking up with defenders. I really liked his work ethic, and how hard he was working, chasing down things, trying to cause problems for the defense. Boniface is, for somebody that is so strong, he is also so skillful and so good with the ball. The way he just holds off players, the way he bullies people at times, the way he links up. You're like, man, this guy is a quality player. I was quite impressed with Victor Boniface today. Had 1 shot on target, 1 shot off target. Didn't create any chance, but I think he was working really hard and he was doing well for the team in that game. 59 minutes for Victor Osimhen. Unfortunately, he had to go off with an injury. When I was watching the game, I was asking myself, I'm like, is there any match that Osimhen does not have some kind of knock or some kind of injury? Osimhen is always on the receiving end of something, and unfortunately today he had to go off. Obviously not a serious injury because he was straight to the bench and just watching the game, but I guess something that he didn't want to risk, and didn't want him to play through too much pain. Osimhen in his time on the field had 2 shots. Both shots were off target. Somebody said Boniface was ready to back those other players on his back. Both Osimhen shots were off target. He also created 1 goal scoring chance for us, and just worked hard like he usually does. Decent performance from Victor Osimhen while he was on the field. As for the subs, Terry Murphy also came on to have a decent game, created 2 chances for us, also had 2 shots, 1 on target, 1 off target. Unfortunately, couldn't find the back of the net, but I think he had a decent game for sure. By the side, Samuel came on and improved the right back position for us. I think he did better than Tyrone Ebuehi for sure. And like I said earlier, I think Batshuayi Simon probably has that right back position on lock. Moses Simon, same thing I said earlier, came off the bench, made an impact for us, was involved in the two goals that we scored. Unfortunately, doesn't get any assists because one was an own goal and the other one, just rebounded to Iheanacho before he took that fantastic strike. But Moses Simon, I think at this rate, he probably needs to be starting because he's one of the more direct players and he's causing problems. And whether people like Moses Simon or not, we have to be honest that what's it called? Moses Simon is currently in form. He's currently in form for his club. He's currently in form for his club. So he deserves to be in the team. And if he keeps performing like this, then no reason why he shouldn't be starting for us. Joe Aribo, I don't know what he came on to do. I like Aribo. I like him as a player. But I think at the moment, Aribo is quite lost in the national team. There's no real position for him. There's no real impact that he makes when he comes on the field for us. He doesn't improve us. Not sometimes it makes us worse. I don't know if I'll say he made us worse today. But I think with all due respect to him, I would have rather seen Dele Bashiru come on or Yedika come on than Joe Aribo. Maybe not Onyedika because he wants some attacking output, but Dele Bashiru, I think he could have contributed more. I really don't know what we're using Aribo to do right now. I think there's just quite no role for him. There's just no role for him in the team right now. We're not playing a 10, so he can't play 10. He's not good enough to be our winger. If you play him as a center mid, he's essentially, I don't want to say useless, but there's no work for him. He doesn't know how to play that role that well. So Aribo needs to find his feet in the national team. I definitely think so. Umar Sadiq didn't have the best time after coming off the bench. And I like Sadiq, I really like Sadiq. And I was so sad that he did not give me much to use to argue for him. Like I said, the fantastic cross that Iheanacho played when he was on the field, I don't know what he was doing. He ran past the ball. He didn't time the cross well. He didn't, judge it properly. But he wasted that opportunity. And then there's another time that he was running with the ball and then he ran into crowded area where he lost the ball for whatever reason. I think his decision making today was just not the best. But honestly, I like Sadiq Umar. I watched him at Almeria. I watched him for his 2-3 matches at Sociedad before he got his injury. He's a good player. Deceptively good. He's very clumsy. He's very lanky. He will fall down 10 times in a match. But he's a good player, honestly. Today, he didn't just have a good game at all. And hopefully he can improve. And then finally, Kelechi Iheanacho. Iheanacho came on, did what senior man does, ran the game for us when he was on the field. Scored that fantastic goal, created some chances that we should have taken and we should have converted. And we would have won the game if we did. Kelechi Iheanacho is somebody that's, no matter how you want to look at it, he always turns up for Nigeria. He always turns up for the Super Eagles, and he always tries to stamp his name in that squad, regardless. That's why when he's off form, they will still call him up. Iheanacho has that ability in him. He's one of our better players, one of our skillful players, technical players, and he shows it time after time again. And I think he showed it in the game today. Very impressed with his performance. Of course, other than his one goal, he had another shot on target. He had another shot that was blocked. Completed 91% of his passes, only played one pass wrong, and like I said, he had a good cross that we should have converted, Sadiq Umar should have converted. So overall, I'll give the team probably like a 6.5 out of 10 overall. They dominated that first half. They should have taken their chances. They should have scored 2 or 3 goals in the first half, and we wouldn't even be talking about Uzoho right now. But unfortunately they didn't. They left the door open for Saudi Arabia to capitalize, and they did capitalize. And for me, I look at it that we have a lot that we need to improve on. We have a lot that we need to improve on. If we're saying that we want to win the AFCON, we have a lot that we need to improve on. Our attack cannot be this toothless. Our attack cannot be this wasteful, this profligate. Because at the end of the day, Saudi Arabia is not a top team in the world. I believe that Senegal, Morocco, Algeria, and some other teams would play better than Saudi Arabia played today. So if we can't win matches like this, In all honesty, and I'm not saying we wouldn't, but I'm saying that if we cannot win matches like this, then we cannot win the AFCON. That's the honest truth. I'm not saying that because we didn't win today, we wouldn't win the AFCON. No, get me right. But if we cannot win matches like this, where we dominate, where we have more possession, then we wouldn't win the AFCON. Because we are going to play teams that are coordinated, that are trained properly, that are coached properly, and we would need to take our chances. Otherwise, they would defeat us. I mean, in another 3 days, we're playing against Mozambique. Mozambique is a team that's also at the AFCON, so it's going to be, I guess, a test of the kind of opposition that we're playing against. But Mozambique is not a very top team, and it's a team that, if we don't beat Mozambique, then you will say that we have serious, serious, serious issues. But yeah, overall, so much to improve on. Hopefully, the coach can fix the issues that we have. Nothing we can do about the goalkeeping issue that we have. The only option is for Mozambique play Maduka Okoye, see how he does. I know Adeleye joined camp late, so maybe Adeleye can get the nod for the Mozambique game. But we need to find a solution. Uzoho, I'm not going to come on here and say Uzoho is terrible, but he's very error prone. That's what I will say. He's very error prone. I mean, look at David De Gea, Uzoho's hero. De Gea was not a terrible goalkeeper, but he had an error in him. De Gea, you know that 1 out of 2 matches, De Gea is going to make a mistake and is going to cause a goal. And I think Uzoho is just the same. He's error prone. You know that he's going to make mistakes every now and then, and that's just the issue that we have. Maybe Adeleye is our safest bet. I don't know. Coach Pesero has to figure that out for us, because again, a team is only as strong as its weakest link. And if we go into this tournament, with weak goalkeeping, then it means that we have a weak team. It doesn't matter how good our strikers are. If we don't have a good goalkeeper, it's going to cause us issues. Because you can imagine a quarter-final match and the team just scores you one silly goal within the first 15 minutes. Now all of a sudden they are defending, you're on the back foot, you are trying to come, you're trying to create chances. It's just going to cause unnecessary issues for us. So yeah, hopefully the team can improve in the game against Mozambique. They have to improve, and we go from there. All right, let me see. Somebody's asking me what I think about Ebuehi. I already spoke about Ebuehi earlier. I think he was shaky in today's game. I overall think that he's a good player, but today wasn't the best show of his ability. He was quite shaky. He didn't defend too much, and in attack, he didn't combine as well as I would have liked for him to combine. But I think it's also a case of Samuel Chukwueze. Honestly, I don't think he has that chemistry with Chukwueze quite yet. And they didn't really understand each other for him to have a good performance. No doubt, I think Osai Samuel has to be our first choice right back. Based on recent performances, Osai Samuel has hardly put a foot wrong since started playing for us. Has to be our first choice right back. Zell Sports, I see you. She says, has Uzoho been getting game time in his club? No, he hasn't. That's the unfortunate thing. The only goalkeeper that we have that has been getting game time is Adebayo Adeleye, and he's been playing badly, with all due respect to him. Adeleye hasn't been having a fine time with his club. I've not been watching 90 minutes of their matches, but I've been following his performances, and I've been looking at Y Scouts, looking at analysis of his games. He hasn't been having the best time, but he's been playing, and that's not something that we can see for our other goalkeepers. Uzoho doesn't play, Okoye doesn't play, Adeleye is the only one that plays. Somebody said that's an insult on the here as you're comparing him with Uzoho. I wasn't comparing them. I was just saying that they have similarities in the fact that they are both error. Like Mancini, say I struggled tactically. I mean, I would honestly disagree that he struggled tactically. We dominated Saudi Arabia in the first half. In my opinion, we dominated them. If Chukwueze, Lukman had taken their chances, had been more serious in attack, we would have been leading them 2-0 or 3-0 at halftime, and you wouldn't be talking about how Pesero is struggling tactically. So I would quite disagree with that statement. But yes, welcome, Ojesu. You've been asking me to bring you on. Thank you.
This is actually my second account. I usually use my other account, but I came for live. I wanted to speak properly. First of all, I want to make some things clear. Saudi have been on a losing spree. Their last win was against Yemen in January. and before then, their last win was at the World Cup. They haven't shall won. They are not in form.
Lost 6 games in a row. Yeah.
Lost 6 games in a row. They are not in form. And our goalkeeper, we cannot. We are going into a World Cup qualifier. Forget the AFCON for now. If we want to make 2026, we need to sort out that goalkeeping mess. We are going to have more disgraceful performance. We are going to have more errors. I don't know where the help is going to come from, but a replacement needs to happen. People are looking at Uzoho's errors. I'm not looking at Uzoho's errors alone. I'm looking at Uzoho's distribution as well. Uzoho's distribution is very, very poor. A lot of the times he kills when he gets the ball. It is like he's scared to make a mistake, and he kills even the build-up play. Like, we literally have no build-up play. He hoofs the ball up in the air, sometimes to nobody, sometimes to the Saudi Arabian defense, and that doesn't do anything. He literally loses possession anytime he's with ball. The way he's playing is like, made the ball no spoil for my leg. Like, let it not be like you can literally see his legs. Someone said his legs start shaking. I literally saw it. His legs was quivering. Like, what will happen? What will happen? Let the ball not. Let nobody blame me. That's the next one. Ebuehi too was shaky. I don't know what Ebuehi's problem was. He has not really looked good since his injury in 2019. Osai Samuel was obviously like a breath of fresh air to kind of, he has basically dispelled the debate. Osai Samuel is the better right back. In Didi, I think he bossed the midfield. I think he has a decent performance. He showed good leadership, especially with what happened to Uzoho. When Uzoho made the mistake and he was trying to, get Uzoho back up. That's good leadership. It shows that we have a captain in Ndidi, and he can, potentially, when we have a captain that doesn't play. So we have 2 captains now that don't play. I don't see how Icon can get back into the squad. So Ndidi is now our captain. So we have a captain that obviously seems like someone that can, motivate the boys. Good. Chukwueze and Ademola Lookman. That's the next thing on my notes. I don't know. I can't play wingers if my wingers cannot. Look, we have strikers. We have all these Osimhen, Giftoban, Boniface, Omar, Murphy, Adams. We have them. But they are not magicians. They cannot do anything if they are not supplied balls to do things in the box. We have wingers who get the ball and I don't know if they don't have sense. They don't think of what they want to do with the ball. Like, their decision making is not even about running. They are good, skillful. They are all of that. But I don't know if it's maybe the coaching, because Lookman's decision making looked good against Ghana when he first came. Now it looks like he doesn't know what to do when he gets into the box, into the 18 with the ball. He looks up. He tries to dribble three defenders, and then loses the ball, or he passes back, or I don't know. It's not assuring. Perhaps we need to call up Nathan Tella. That's what I have here on my notes. Perhaps Nathan Tella is our next solution. Moses Simon, people don't like him, but Moses Simon still looks better than them. Even though Moses Simon today still too, we all know that if we give Moses Simon a 90 minutes or 90 minutes run of games, we will still complain about the same decision-making thing. So I don't know if it's a coaching issue. I don't know if it's a spiritual issue, but our players just don't know how to make decisions when they're in the box, in the 18 box. Moses Simon, yeah, like I said that. Then also, why I also said Nathan Sella is because Chukwueze needs to know that right wing position, he has been playing right wing for us now since 2019. He needs to know that right wing position is not permanent. Someone should be able to come and threaten Chukwueze for that his right wing position. He thinks that he owns that shirt. He does not own it. There has to be competition. I feel like Chukwueze is relaxed in that right wing position. It feels like nobody can collect it from him. Iheanacho, thank you for coming and playing that almost, he was a supporting striker, but he was also drifting to the right
Yeah.
sometimes, and he was drifting onto the wing. But also, you can still that he's not a winger. You could tell that this person cannot. He's not a solution to the right wing conundrum, in the sense that he doesn't. I don't know. He doesn't know how to take on players. He always tries to. He opens his body up to see if he can pass or if he can. Cross the ball back in. He doesn't take on players. He doesn't, look for his overlapping right backs to see if they can, provide an option for him. He's limited almost as a winger. So it's not a solution. It's almost like, I don't know, it's almost like against teams that are sitting back and are waiting for us to come, which I'm sure as AFCON we will not have those type of teams, especially when we leave that our group. And then also, there will be a problem if we have a counter attack with Iheanacho as right wing. He's very slow. If you've watched Iheanacho's game, you know Iheanacho cannot run 100 meters. I don't know, me, I'm not a professional footballer, but I feel say if I gather, go gym 1 or 2 weeks and run against Iheanacho, I feel pass him for that 100 meters or maybe 40 meters. I feel pass him. My
That's what
sprint
you.
fit.
That's what you think when
No,
you're
I'm
watching them against.
I'm just using that as a joke, but you understand what I'm saying? Like Iheanacho's pace is non-existent. He's not a person guy. But we still have creativity problem. We've not solved this thing since Gernot Rohr. Now we're in Jose Peseiro. We've done Gernot Rohr. We've done Guardiola. Now we are doing Peseiro. Our creativity is still a problem. We have all the nines, but we cannot do them. And then Umar Sadiq and Aribo, dead performances, nothing to write home about, nothing to comment, forgettable performances. This squad, like I put here, is far from ready. We need to do much. I don't think there has been improvement since 2021 AFCON, I'll be honest. You could see flashes of brilliance here and there. But from that Guardiola's team in 2021 to this team now, I cannot look at it and say, this team has improved. I cannot tell you that this team has improved. I cannot put my money down on this team and say, okay, we can do something in this AFCON. I think this is me as not speaking now as a Nigerian fan. I'm speaking now as an analyst looking at this AFCON that we're going into. I think we will struggle to do better than that round of 16. Personally, I think the 4-4-2 is a very porous formation. I think it's going to be exposed heavily at that AFCON. You people will see if we come against a good team in that round of 16 in AFCON. You people will see this our formation being exposed in the limelight. And I think and I hope that we will not have problems to qualify for the World Cup 2 times in a row, because that will be a big indictment not just on the coach, not just on this golden generation where we have strikers. I call this team a Brazilian butt lift team. It's very good at the attack, but up, nothing there. It's like all those girls that went to Turkey to get surgery. That's how this team looks like. It looks good in one area, but the rest there's nothing. So, man, this
All right.
team is far from it's a far from ready team. So I think we should kind of reduce our expectations and be more realistic in the way we discuss this team. Yeah, but
All
that's
right. Thank you very much. Okay, over to you now, Osas. Thanks for joining.
Good evening, my brother. How you sad now?
I do. How are you?
I did fine. What me really want to talk about the game today be say, if you check today game now, we get the players for the pitch. We just not get sound coach. Understand? We go fit make use of those players. If you check Lookman, for example, now the guy they play for Atalanta week in week out, and he's playing very well. Why if he can't come national team, he not confident deliver? So there is problem. You understand? Even Boniface today, the guy, for me, he impressed me the way he played. He tried even in the day, Kavibasi, for that error we make. They really play well. But the coach, for me, I think say the coach, not really they give us the exciting football we want. Understand as a Nigerian, understand. So now for my own, if you see the last time we get better excitement for our Eagles. Now AFCON will play for Garoua for Cameroon. You understand? Quote me if I'm wrong. Now the last time when we say at least after those 3 games, everybody they happy say our Eagles don't come back. You understand? But fortunately, waiting happen because of our goalkeeper. If you check that game too, now our goalkeeper now focus up. Even for the World Cup qualifiers, we still play good game, although but our goalkeeper still focus up. One question when me they ask me say for the full Nigeria, for the from go reach from NPFL, go reach our second division, we not go fit boast of one goalkeeper. We be say go fit at least we go fit give chance if I talk for the national team. If person they tell me say we not get any goalkeeper, I mean not they believe am. I just believe say the scout we get for the national team, they lazy because we they at least even though say we know they follow the NPFL or the game, at least we they see some goalkeeping, aspect when we say week in week out, all the boys they do. Although say now only second match now they don't play, so but at least we for supposed to see 1 or 2 keeper from there.
Okay,
But this kind of
let me cut you off and ask you this question because
okay.
I was thinking it and some people are asking that question. When you blame the coach for a game like today, what more do you think the coach could have done? Because like we had 15 shots in the whole match, which is a good number of shots to have in a game. We dominated the first half, completely dominated. We had opportunity after opportunity. We could have scored 2 or 3 goals.
Yeah,
The
you are
coach,
right.
the coach can tell you, I've done my job. I've told them they've got the opportunities. He's not going to teach Lukman how to shoot ball. He's not going to teach Chukwueze how to play a pass or how to take a shot. So what do you think the coach could have done more in this kind of match?
For me, I think the 4-4-2 formation is not helping us. You understand? I think we would have played the 4-3-3 formation at least. Maybe we for carry like Chukwueze, play wetin they call him Victor Boniface for that in wing. You understand? We use Iheanacho and wetin they call him Osime for that front. You understand? Then Chukwueze will dey bench. Because if you check like Chukwueze now, you will see and say now when he come from bench, most of the match when we say in for the try well for us. Now when he come from bench, now really they do well for us. But many match when Chukwueze don't start for us, he never really deliver for some matches now. You understand? For me, now waiting me go talk with that one. Then for the goalkeeper aspect, I think say Uzoho need to just fetch chief first for the meantime. May they carry one goalkeeper come from MPFL. May just come, we just try him. No, like this type of friendly match now we be say at least we never AFCON never start. We'll just bring any goalkeeper come. We be say good for the league, then we'll try him.
But the thing is that this goalkeeper, if to say they bring goalkeeper now from MPFL, so they can't play this match. If the goalkeeper does well, everybody will say, we have a new goalkeeper. Second match like this, if he just mess up, he's back to square one.
Yeah, you did that.
And at the same time, people always say that I talk down on the MPFL. No disrespect to the MPFL, no disrespect to the players that are there. But I always feel that if there was any goalkeeper that was that top playing in our, domestic league, the person would have been noted and would have been spotted by now. People would have been calling for the goalkeeper. And if the player was that good, he also no longer be in Nigeria. Because we see it, the best players that we have in our league, they go abroad once they have the chance. So I don't know how we're going to solve this goalkeeping issue. But
because we can't continue like this now.
Somebody said Sporting Lagos goalkeeper is so good at beg. I mean, if he's that good, they will call him up, they will give him a chance. But just like we know, if he makes one mistake in one game, we're back to square one. And I don't think that, especially for the defensive coordination of the entire team, I don't think that the coach just wants to be chopping and changing goalkeeper in every match. Maybe he can try a different goalkeeper every once in a while if the person convinces him. But he's not just going to say, okay, Uzoho mess up today. Ojo come. Ojo mess up. Adele come. Adele mess up. You have to have some kind of stability between your goalkeepers and your defenders so that they know how to.
But for how long? We don't give those guys don't give them many chances now. For how long we want to continue to just rely on them like this? We don't give them enough chances.
Uzoho's mistake today was elementary.
It was.
Yeah, from there are some mistakes that goalkeepers make, and then you say, okay, that's kind of in the course of the game. Things happen. They are trying to play out. They make a bad pass
Just
here
off my
and there.
light off.
But that mistake Uzoho made today is a mistake that a goalkeeper of international caliber should not be making.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see in his reaction. Normally, when keeper make mistake, players they try, they will try and encourage the keeper. Say, "Don't worry, you'll get it right." And he just looked at him like, "Are you kidding me?" That was the look that he gave him. Like, "Are you kidding me? Like, you cannot. This is an international friendly, and this is what we have." So it was inexcusable what Uzoho did today. And I agree with you that the coach cannot just be chopping and changing goalies based on mistakes. But today's mistake is grounds for a legitimate change, especially with carrying off the back of what he did in the Ghana game, last year. So it's kind of like an accumulation, and it's showing that he's not the quality that we need. Uzoho needs to go. But who the replacement is, Nade Wahala Day. Everybody's saying MPFL, Sochima, the insurance goalkeeper, Amas Obasogi, plays with the most confidence that I've seen amongst a lot of the home-based guys. But then again, that's playing at home. It's another thing to step it up to international standards and go to camp and have the big names around you. Do you still exude that confidence when you go there? At this point, we are 3 months away from AFCON. It's tough to give a player of that caliber a chance. Whoever comes in after Uzoho has to be somebody who has been here before, because it's so close to the AFCON and because we have World Cup qualifiers coming up. We don't have time for that.
Are you saying we should trust the same three goalkeeper that have been messing up for about 2-3 years now?
But see, the thing is, like, just to his point, like, if let's say we bring a new goalkeeper in for the next international game, the World Cup qualifiers, let's just say we bring a new goalkeeper into the mix. Let's even imagine that goalkeeper has one good game. Does that now mean that, take this guy to AFCON, he's better? There's no time to really fully assess the goalkeeper. The only place that he can assess them is in training. Maybe, he can call a camp of, maybe 30-something players before the AFCON, and he can call maybe 4 or 5 goalkeepers into that camp and decide that he's going to compare them and choose his final 3. But it's hard to just bring somebody and say, take the person to tournaments, because if you call me now, I can maybe have good game against Mozambique. Does not mean that if you take me and play against Ivory Coast, I will not be shaken and I will not make mistakes as well.
If you really check, for example, when
because
sorry,
let me just
where's your face?
Apologies because I'm just like I don't want to underline so that you guys will not wake up again and start chasing me around. Let me just say something. See, to be flying up and down is not being a good goalkeeper. If you see me the way I jump, see, to be jumping up and down is not so good. See, goalkeeping requires technique now. It requires technique. Somebody mentioned Victor Tsushima here. I agree with you that he's a good diver. He can dive. But don't be to dive, can't catch ball for midfield. Can't catch ball, they give a red card. So the issue is this: they need to learn the game. Talent is can be there. But what about the technique? This guy, Nwabili, is he Nwabili? He's in South Africa now. He's a good goalkeeper.
Chipper United.
But for me, the technique never solid well. If the guy is a South African national, he won't be called up to the Bafana Bafanas. I can tell you. So the goalkeeper in Enyimba, Olorunleke Ojo, from the first minute to 75 minutes, good game. From 75 to 90, he go to sleep. Four shots on target in Libya, 4 goals. If you watch the game against Al Ali Benghazi, when you saw crowd, he dey check. You won't call him for Super Eagles again. See, to the jump for Onikan Stadium is different from to the jump in front of AFCON. These guys need exposure now. The guy in Bender Insurance, Anas Obasoge, is a good goalkeeper, but he's old. There's nothing he can learn now.
He's the best goalkeeper we have for me.
It's
like, good now.
The guy is good. if you want to invest in him now, it's like see, the exposure is meant to get. It's supposed to don't get up. This is when see, Baba, Abbas or is it Abbas Obasoge is even close to retirement. I can tell you.
Wow.
It's
No wonder he plays with so much confidence. They play like
he's a
Yeah, the guy
veteran.
is
He's
very
a veteran.
good.
He's a veteran. I
Okay.
know of a goalkeeper now that is 20 years old on paper, but he's almost 40. And if the goalkeeper now should come and invest, you said you want to invest that. I know the goalkeeper, I don't want to mention him. He's 38 years old and he's 20 on paper. So that goalkeeper will come at 23 now. We will pay for him, invest in him. He will come go Cyprus, I mean go Russia, or go Bangladesh, go the so say go get keeper there. See, I think the solution, make I like to you is this: we should go to the Kai Keme route. See, maybe you can get a foreign national that is very solid. If you see the intimidating frame of Kali Keme, I think it's I think
Well,
we can go
isn't it Maduka Okoye too? They said he has intimidating.
No,
Yeah,
see,
they say
He's not.
Arthur Okonkwo doesn't want to come. Noah Tubolu doesn't want to come.
no.
Sebastian
The
Osigwe, I don't know what the
Osigwe is not even playing football, so I
So,
cannot
yeah,
campaign for him.
Osigwe is not playing.
Okay, but they said Noah and Arthur don't want to come, and Owen Goodman is playing for under 21
No,
England.
this one want to come. The one in Germany would have come. The one I don't know. I forgot his name. He's playing in Bundesliga.
Oh, the one in the Bundesliga is Noah.
Atubolu is the one
Atubolu.
playing in Bundesliga now.
Yeah.
The boy. But the problem is this: how can you just reclaim first choice and you won't come AFCON? So they could come on first choice from your hand. So before you
AFCON
come
is
back,
too late for AFCON.
No.
AFCON, we have to.
It's even not logical for if I'm his father, I'm not allowing him to go.
Yeah, AFCON has to be. We have to see what Adeleye can do, man. It cannot be Uzoho. It cannot.
That would be fast.
I've said this thing before. People disagree with me. I've argued this thing in the past, and I don't know if you remember Smitlayi and Osas. I used to say that of the goalkeepers that we had, I thought Okoye was the best one.
Yes.
I used to say it before. But then Okoye will now mess me up and go and make mistake. People will say,
to be honest with you, I don't want to rehash old this thing because I know we argued this thing that time about that goal against Tunisia, about how the ball swerved and everything. To me, that kind of mistake is a little bit more acceptable to me than what Uzoho did today.
The one Uzoho did today is the kind of mistake that even if you are playing just with your boys and your goalkeeper who is normally a striker,
yes,
you look at him, a guy, are you sleeping in
goal? Are you kidding me? Exactly.
So I understand. Yeah. You cannot make that kind of mistake even in dropping. So
and you know what's funny? You know what's funny? Like if we just analyze just the game, especially the first half, I thought tactically, structurally, we were amazing in the first half. Even the Uzoho was a very, very core part of our possession game in the first half because Mancini's Saudi Arabia, they're not sabi play ball. What they were doing to us in that first half, they were swarming us, they were pressing us relentlessly, and we were playing out of their press almost easily, and Uzoho was a big part of that. I will give him credit for that one in the first half.
Your guy is there. Your guy won't come here with you. Second
half was a whole another problem. In fact, we can break the game into different phases. The first half, and then the first part of the second half, which was up until when we scored 2-1, and then after 2-1, we completely broke down after 2-1. And I just want us to be careful not to analyze the game, not to use the portion of the game after 2-1 to completely analyze the entire performance, because there were a lot of good things about that performance, but the bad, besides some individual performance, which you have already covered with our right side, Ebuehi and Samu today, zero, just non-existent from that right. Most of the good things that happened to us came from the left, from Bruno and Lookman. I thought you were a little too harsh on Lookman. Yes, he missed that sitter at the end of the first half, but I thought he had a very good game. Aside from that, there were a lot of good combinations from his side.
Yeah.
On the right side is where we had a lot of our problems, attacking wise. And every time we were coming out on that right side, nothing. Once we got to the final third, nothing was coming out of it.
Yeah.
Chukwueze himself noticed
Sorry, please,
that
I will ask you a question. I want you to finish. I want to ask you a question. Sorry.
him himself noticed that he was not getting any joy hugging the touchline. He started to come inside. But like I said earlier, the way the Saudis were playing us so tight is tough for him as a player. That's just not his strength. Playing with his back and playing with somebody being so close to him. But he still tried. He came central and he gave the chance to Lukman to end the first half. I have no problem with us playing 4-4-2 the way we played today. I don't have a problem with it. I think everybody understood what they needed to do, both on the ball and off the ball. I thought Osimhen and Boniface is something that we should see a little bit more of. When I did my first half analysis, I made a comment. I said Boniface touched the ball, and when he touched the ball, he was playing well, but he didn't touch it enough in the first half. Not nearly enough in enough touches in the first half. I think Osimhen probably had more touches than him, and Osimhen should be a little bit more advanced than him. But from a structural perspective, the 4-4-2 as we played it today, perfect. But by gosh, we completely broke down after we scored 2.
Make I just drop.
It's gone.
Yeah. So before you ask me for podcast, I will ask you now because sometimes they put me on the spot. So I'll go ask you now so that I will know how to answer in case you ask me.
Okay.
They removed Victor Osimhen today for the first time in his Super Eagles career when he became established. They get after 59 minutes. What is your opinion about that? And for me to give, I will drop that. They can talk about that. And for me, make I just say the truth. This game, I see improvement in this game. If this was a set we were playing in high school, if they ask us to kneel down after we score, in fact, now our goalkeeper will get the ISK. They go give him like 6 lashes.
Let me go so that you bring the Suleiman.
All right.
They could give him like 6 lashes because of what he did today. See, there is no mistake. There's no mistake. You know, if it becomes too much, it's like you're not good enough. And secondly is this. He went to post, say, not the result we wanted, and he off comments. Why is he off comments? Why can't he allow us to?
Because he knows that Nigerians are not going to let him rest now.
But like, we'll not focus on that one. We'll not focus on that one. That, you know, let's. I don't know if it's his prerogative if he wants to turn off his comments.
I mean, see, we always talk about in football these days. Talk about mental health. He has to protect his mental health. I beg. No need for him to see a million insults.
Okay. It's good to protect the mental health, but you know, if a player make mistake, because when Maduka made mistake, nobody came to support him. The boy was battling mental health for so long. Nobody came out to support him. Even 2 players, I will mention. I don't be say that and say I would say it. 2 players, one scored today. They did not take it easy with him. It's not easy. See, when you make mistake, support your teammates. It should also be for Uzoho too. You should support. When Maduka made mistake, he didn't come out to say that see what they say. Now it's for start now. That's what they talk about with that. So if somebody make mistake, it should be for the whole team. He not make mistake now. In fact, the mistakes have don't tire us. It's like error waiting to happen. So that is my take. I just hope say he can on the comments so we can talk to him. But you don't have to talk
to him. All right. Sorry, let me just before let me just quickly respond to the comments. So Zell Sports, I think our most informed striker now is Victor Boniface. You know, Iheanacho is in form as well, but Boniface is in better form and he's doing it at a higher level. So you have to give him that leg up. But what I will say is that Iheanacho turns up for the Super Eagles. You know, when he plays for the Super Eagles, he's a key player for us and he always does well. Victor Boniface, of course, this is only his second cap. He's still looking for his first goal, you know, and he's still trying to get integrated in the national team. But yeah. Okay, Sulaiman, welcome.
Hi, how you doing, man? You know you're not
answer my question, though. But I go off.
What was your question?
Okay, no, let me answer that. You said about them taking Victor Osimhen off, Abi.
Yeah.
I think Osimhen suffered a knock. That's the reason why he went off.
Okay.
You know, because he was receiving treatment, and then all of a sudden I saw that they just didn't bring him back on the field. They told him to sit down.
And don't forget the sub wasn't made until after Murphy came on after the fact.
Yeah.
So he was already off the field. We were playing with 10 players.
Yeah.
Murphy came up after the fact. Yeah.
Okay.
I think like Charles, he actually said it perfectly
The
well.
way Umbury analyzes football sometimes makes me laugh. Is there
But you
Iheanacho caused the
see,
second goal?
but
Wait to. I know why he's saying that. Because on that attack, Iheanacho had the ball on the right. Osai overlap on the right, and he had a 2v1 with Osai. All he had to do was slip it to Osai. He didn't do it. He gave it to Murphy, and Murphy tried to play 1-2 with him, and we lost the ball. And those people went and transitioned us, and Basi Abiajayi committed the foul. So I can understand why he's
fair. He made a wrong decision, but I don't see that as he caused the goal. There were a number of things that happened after that.
So
you can't put the totality of that on him.
I'll take myself up now because Sulaiman is here now. Sulaiman, please. So people are waiting for you to comment on Lukman Chukwueze again, please. I thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
We'll talk, man. I think for me, I look at this not from an emotional perspective, even though it was a little bit emotional when I was watching the game. Francis Uzoho, I don't understand what the issue is. I honestly do not understand what the issue is. It's not as if he's not playing club football. If he's not playing club football, now I can understand that, you don't have that continuous repetition. If you don't have that continuous repetition, it will show, right? See someone like Joe Aribo, he didn't play the entire majority of last season in the Premier League, and he's still not playing for Southampton. So it's kind of showing in his game. But when you are the national team goalkeeper, you're the last line of defense. What was the joke I made? What was the joke I made about that Uzoho goal? Remember the joke I made in our team chat? My 3-year-old daughter will save that ball. And here's why I say that. Goalkeepers are protected. Goalkeepers are always protected. Any slight touch on a goalkeeper, the referee will blow the whistle. I have a referee's badge. It's part of the game. Part of the game is to protect the goalkeeper, right? The ball was coming right at you. How tall is Francis Uzoho again? 6'6"?
Maybe
6'7"?
is it up to 6'6"?
The boy,
I don't know.
6'4".
At least 6 feet
yeah.
tall. Yeah.
Let's give it.
No, it's about 6'6". Uzoho is very tall.
Uzoho is up to 6 feet.
Yes, I've seen him in person. He's a giant. For someone to that ball was a cross into the box. It wasn't a shot. And the best you could do is parry it over your head. How? What were the circumstances? Were you dribbling?
6'5".
6'5". Close. Yeah. In basketball, is a small forward. What were the circumstances? There was nobody around you, and the best you could do is parry the ball into the net. I think part of Nigerian fans' problem is the fact that the mistake that Maduka made at the AFCON, he's still not forgiven for it. Because anytime his name comes up, the first thing they say is, Nigeria, Tunisia. Ball that was kicked directly at him. Most people forget the goal against Ghana that we considered in Abuja. The ball was kicked directly at Uzoho as well. It went underneath his hands. I remember that game because I was at Abuja, and I'm like, this is a goalkeeper save now. This is a simple goalkeeper save.
But I also think why Maduka is being castigated for that mistake against Tunisia, part of the reason why he hasn't been around was because he was injured most of last season. Yeah. He was injured and he wasn't playing.
Yes.
He was injured and wasn't playing.
Granted. And he's still not playing. He hasn't played for Udinese. He hasn't played a Serie A game for Udinese either. So we have a serious goalkeeper problem. What I like is that our centre back is beginning to shape up. I tweeted this last year, or was it earlier this year, that the future of the Nigerian centre back is Calvin Bassey and Kevin Akpoguma. At least I got one half of it correct. At that point in time, Kevin was playing very well too. At least I got that half of it, that one half of it right. Here's the reality. It's going to take a while for players like Trust Ekong to get back onto the pitch. Because if these boys are playing this well, like one of the things I loved in the first half was Saudi Arabia was trying to press us, but we were literally cutting out all their passing lanes. Any slight time that they tried to do anything, ping, quick passes, quick ball movement, quick decision making. The ball wasn't moving like, making no spot for my hand. No. Once, and then credit to Uzoho. I'm going to give him credit. In the first half, every time the ball went back to him, he wasn't looking to hoof the ball. He was looking to find an outlet. Yes. He either found an Ididi, he found an Iwobi, or
he was circulating to the other side.
Yes, Ebuehi that everybody was talking about. He actually would loop the ball out wide to Ebuehi. Ebuehi was actually an outlet for him because when the ball, Bassi was great at one thing. Once he looked up and there was nothing, he went directly back to Uzoho. And what he did was he peels out to the left. The option
We were
A. Uzoho will
good.
go
We were
to
good in the first half. Now just go
Uzoho.
with no score.
Bro, the amount of chances we chopped for that first half. Uzoho will go to Ajayi or